Welcome to SibSpot. The stories featured today from Reddit are about malicious compliance. Story 1 is by Schmarty Party. Not allowed to remove my neck brace? Okay. Years ago, I was in a bad car accident. An older man turned left in front of me at an intersection and T-boned me. Ambulances were called. I was put on a backboard with a neck brace and brought to the hospital, where I was deposited on the gurney in a hallway as there were no rooms available at that time. I laid there for quite a while wanting to be seen. My injuries weren't bad, basically just got banged around and bruised up, so I was okay with the waiting. But I was in pain and laying on my back was very uncomfortable. I didn't think there was anything wrong with my neck. The only pain I felt was due to the darn neck brace digging into the bottom of my skull, and I really wanted to lay in a different position, not only to alleviate some of the pain in the rest of my body, hopefully, but also because I was parked right under a light that was blaring in my eyes the whole time. So I started taking off my neck brace. A nurse spotted me doing this and ran over very upset with me and told me I had to keep the neck brace on. I tried telling her my neck was fine, but she was adamant that I not remove the brace until the doctor had examined me. Which I get. I'm guessing at the very least it goes very much against protocol, and at the very worst it would have been a huge liability if I took the brace off and there was something wrong. Plus, I didn't want to anger the nurse or be one of those patients, so I begrudgingly complied even though I thought it was overkill. I tried to reposition myself as best I could to the least painful position, not very successfully, unfortunately. However, the darn light blaring directly down on me was driving me crazy, even when I closed my eyes. Finally, out of frustration, I took the blanket that was over me, pulled it up more, and threw it over my head. Finally, no more light in my eyes. Bliss. I just lay there trying to block the pain and daydream to pass the time, wondering how long I would be there for. Not too long after, I hear what sounds like a bit of a commotion and someone saying something about a dead person in the hallway. I was like, oh my god, that's freaky. I got that there were no rooms available, but to leave a dead body just laying out for everyone to see, I thought that was uber creepy. Suddenly, the same nurse that gave me heck about the neck brace pulls my blanket off my head, scaring the heck out of me. And she starts yelling at me that I'm not allowed to put the blanket over my head, and what the heck was I doing? It was then that I realized the dead body they were talking about was me. I said, "Oh, darn, I'm so sorry. I just wanted the light out of my eyes, and I can't move my head with the darn neck brace on." To say the nurse was not impressed would be an understatement, but she did find a room to move me in and position me not under any light, which I thanked her very much for. She just gave me a surly look and walked away. Sorry, lol. OP, you just came out of a car accident. I mean, you've got to put yourself in whatever comfortable position you got to be in. But it's a good thing you kept your neck brace on still. Even if you're sure you have no injury, a neck injury is nothing to mess with. You can literally become paralyzed if there's some underlying issue that isn't causing you any pain and you move your neck too much. Story 3 is by Rare Cheesecake 9701. Stop bothering us with that deadline. We've got this. Sure thing, kids. Hello, everyone. This story is somewhat fresh and I'm still smirking when I remember it, so I decided to share some background. I, 27 female, work in IT. I'm a well-respected and known member of the IT party circle where I live, so to speak. I am not jaw-dropping, but people know me, and I have a very good reputation. One of the things is that I got to the point in my career where I wanted to give back. So I started mentoring others. Mostly, I mentored adults or those who were close to me in age. Career advice, how to apply for different exchange programs that can boost their professional growth, and improve their speaking and writing skills. The usual. But I always was one up for the challenge and decided to try to mentor kids. It is not a secret that IT and STEM are increasingly popular right now, and more people want to get into the field. Therefore, there are myriads of boot camps, hackathons, and mentoring programs for all ages. So I signed up for one such program as a mentor. Teach kids how to code with blocks, tell them what AI is, and how to develop an MVP. This is a side note. Some of you probably know what an MVP is in regards to programming, but I didn't, so I looked it up on Google, and it stands for Minimum Viable Project. It's a product with enough features to satisfy the target audience, adopters, or in this case, the mentor. It sounds more complicated than it might look at first glance, especially when you are an educated professional with a degree explaining concepts that are rather complicated to children who may have less than 1/50th of your tech knowledge. I must add that participation in the said program gives kids credits and can help them get into better schools or even be eligible for some university scholarships later in life. So only pros, if you ask me. The only thing is that they must upload their MVP project to the site before the deadline. I was assigned 2 teams: primary, early middle schoolers, Team A, and high schoolers, Team B. Both had 5 members, and the youngest in Team A was 8 years old. I thought, oh my God, that will be tough, thinking about Team A and how I am up for a tough time. Also, since they are so young, the parents of the kids must observe Team A meetings and my lessons, and parents equals problems. Ironically, despite my worries, even with help from the parents, the kids in Team A were doing great. But the same can't be said about Team B. A little side note, with my mentees, I have 2 rules. 1. At least 1 meeting per week. At least 50% of the group must be present. 2. Communication. When I type something like tasks to do or reply to a question asked before, I ask my mentees to respond. Not even text, a thumbs up emoji will also suffice. We all know that read status doesn't mean much when you can accidentally open an app for a second and swipe it to clear RAM on the phone. So Team A attended all the meetings and responded to my assignments. There was a curriculum provided by a program to follow, and they were very receptive overall. When Team B started okay, but then started not showing on meetings and leaving assignments, read, but unresponded. I understand they have a lot on their plate. Exams are no joke, but they disregarded my time, which I will not be okay with. I have a job to do, and mentoring in that program was 100% volunteering, and there was no payment for the mentors. There was, however, a very strict deadline, the middle of April, when their MVPs must be loaded onto the website for later judgment. I, even when angry, am a professional first and an angry lady second. So I wrote multiple messages asking for updates on the project, with warnings at the end that deadline is April 15th, don't miss it. After one such message, the so-called leader of Team B, Sam, wrote me this. Hi OP. I know that you probably mean well, but you only bother the team with those deadline messages. Can't you, chill out? When we need you, we will contact you and all. Just get off our hair and let us do our job. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. It is what it is. Less than 3. After I read that message, I was like, WTF? But I did respond that I would stop messaging if that caused tension within the team, though the deadline is still on the 15th, and the site would reject any application that was uploaded after. Just stop, okay? Jeez, X, said Sam to that, so I decided, okay, I'm washing my hands out of this. Cue malicious compliance. Since that message, I haven't written anything to Team B. I had scheduled no meetings, updates, or checkups about the curriculum / their understanding, and definitely not a written reminder of the deadline once. Deadline came. Team A uploaded their project with no issues, and their parents even bought me a nice box of chocolate as a thank you gesture. Just like the deadline came and went, Team B started bombarding chat, asking me to help because something is wrong with the site. We can't upload our project. I entered the chat and said, yes, it will not upload. No, it is not an issue with the site. The deadline has passed. So if you try to upload, it will only show you an error message. I warned you, kids. No extra credit, no nothing. The rules of that program are simple, but they are hard, no exceptions ones. Team B tried to blame me, saying that as a mentor it was my job to ensure they would succeed. I reminded them that my job as a mentor is to provide support and guidance, keep track of their progress, and remind them all of the deadline, which, all of the above, they, via Sam, asked me not to. And since I respected their boundaries, I did exactly what they had requested. They can sulk as much as they want. I have all our communication in writing, so they don't have a leg to stand on when trying to accuse me of sabotaging them in the program. Tough luck, kids. OP was doing exactly what they signed on to do, providing guidance, and it just sounds like Group B had no cohesion and things fell apart. Group A handled things fine, so it's definitely not the mentor's fault, but people will often attempt to blame someone else or come up with another excuse if they don't meet a target deadline. Though the younger ones too did have parental presence, and parents sometimes light a fire under kids' behinds. So that might have been a factor as well. We've come to the end of stories for today, guys. I gotta admit, the weather has just turned absolutely stunningly beautiful outside. It's 77 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 Celsius here today. And as I've been reading these stories, all I can think of is getting outside and getting some raking done, or basking in the sun, or planting some flowers. You ever do that thing where you're reading something that you know is interesting, like a book or a story, but you read 3 to 4 paragraphs and realize you haven't registered a single thought? That happened to me 3 times when reading today. But they're good stories. I actually really enjoy the IT mentor one, because I'm a little techie myself. I do a little programming as well. Not hackathon level as they were talking about, but I'm into IT things and I love computers. But it's just so sunny and breezy and distracting. I'm just so eager to enjoy some sun today, absorb some vitamin D. I really hope you guys enjoyed your stay. Until we meet again, have a stunningly beautiful day.